Welcome to the Center of Excellence in Teaching and Learning podcast here at Coahoma Community College, home of the Tigers. I am Dr. Awita McAfee, your host. And today our special guest is the esteemed and very kind and knowledgeable Dr. Martha Chanu. And we are discussing the importance of joining organizations. Welcome, Dr. Chanu.
Thank you, Dr. Mahaffey. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here with you this morning to chat with you on all the things that you are doing at Coahoma Community College. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Dr. Martha Chanu, and I'm the Director for Student Support Services at the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology at Jackson State University. And I also I'm the Program Manager for the Louis Stokes Mississippi Alliance for Minority Participation. It sounds like a long word, but in short, we call it LSMAMP, So that way it makes it easier for people to call it. And we are good implementators. So we try to implement STEM activities to help our students. So in a nutshell, that's what I really do, and put students in summer internship and all that good stuff. Yes.
Okay, summer internship. So tell us some more about LSMAMP.
Yeah, LSMAMP is a program that was started in the 1990s by Louis Stokes, Mr. Louis Stokes. And Louis Stokes was a person who joined the Army, and he realized that in the Army, while he was helping, in the Army serve, they were segregated a little bit. And he didn't like that. And when he came back, he wanted to do something not only to foster minority students in STEM, but also he wanted minority students to have a pathway where they could be recognized regardless of how their color of their skin or what they just on what they can do. So he went to Congress and requested that minorities, they have a special program for minorities that can foster them in STEM. And Congress got they got funded in Congress, and that started in 1990. And since then, this minority program has pipeline over 50,000 minority students, and they are all over the 50 states. And this program, what it does is not just that it takes students from undergraduate, but also from community colleges and have a strong pipeline in STEM. They come from community college and even from high school. Let me start from high school because it's a whole shaboom. We start from high school. We have the summer programs that introduce these high school students to STEM, like biology, chemistry, physics, math, robotics, all this good stuff. Some students have never been introduced to robotics before in high school. So while we introduce them to that opens their eyes in terms of the things that STEM can do. Some of them, they don't even understand that the cereals that they eat, the chemical makeup of their cereal is STEM. The clothes that they wear, the fabric itself is STEM. So we kind of expand their mind as to what STEM is and what STEM can do for them. So that way, when they come to college, or community college, or regular four-year colleges, they could major in STEM. And that will really help, increase the number of STEM workforce and the pipeline. So it's very important that we as the LSMAMP and also just regular colleges introduce minorities to STEM, because our future technologies, everything that is developed by STEM. So just minority students themselves being in STEM, it creates a diverse workforce to represent our community. So it's very important for us to educate these minority students for the future in STEM. So LSMAMP, that's what LSMAMP does. It continues all the way even to graduate school, that we have what we call the bridge to the doctorate. So after the students leave high school, they go to community college or to college, they graduate in STEM. Then they get to the graduate program, which is the bridge to the doctorate, where we also pay them $32,000 and pay their tuition. And they major in STEM. And then when they finish, we make sure that they get into PhD. So Mississippi alone has produced, for the LSM program, produced over 90 PhDs in STEM in
How
Mississippi.
many?
So 90,
Wow.
90. Yes. So just for the program itself. So it's a very good program, So I encourage anybody who wants to know more about it to either contact you or contact me. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Contact me or you because Coahoma is definitely participating in LSMAMP.
Yes, yes, yes. They are our newest members, so we're very excited about that. Yes, yes.
So tell us some more success stories because 90 PhDs, that's quite an accomplishment. So tell us some more success stories. I know you just got back from study abroad this summer.
Yes, yes. Our students, that's one of the components. So not only do we want our minority students to be diverse, we also want them to see what the other part of the world are doing in terms of research and STEM. Now by taking them, we just came from Costa Rica. We had 14 students, to Costa Rica that did research in animal observation, to see how the people that are visiting the park, how their impact on the animals stay in that particular, in their own environment. And they were able to produce results that was used by the community to make decision on the well-being of the animals. And before Costa Rica, we went to Belize. We worked with the University of Belize because we have collaboration with the University of Belize, and they did a bunch of research. They did research on insects. They did research on the environment. They also did research on the water, because in Belize, in the stream that they drink, some people are using it to wash clothes at the top of the water. Some other people are using it to defecate, to use it as bathroom. And then some other people are using it, to take a bath. And then at the bottom, they're drinking it.
Ooh.
So, our students went to Belize and they did samples of water, and took, once the samples were taken to the lab, they were able to tell the community the results. So that way the community can help themselves in terms of the pollution in the water, not drinking water that they've messed up. And telling them that, if you're going to drink water, don't use it as toilet, don't use it as, washing your clothes.
Right.
So that also helped the government there, especially the city government, to make environmental decisions. So, not only our students are doing study abroad program or international research, they are also helping a broader impact on the community. They're able to make the public health decisions based on the results of what our students did. And before that, before the pandemic, we went to China. And our goal in China was to collaborate in terms of, how their public transportation works and how we can collaborate in terms of their public transportation. You know, however, that particular pandemic came, and that particular research wasn't quite completed. But international research and study abroad program is one of the strength and the importance of the LSAMP that has a broader impact to the community. Actually, the research itself, don't only help the students, but also help the community. And when the students come back, they're different people because they go to Belize, sometimes they are not liked. And sometimes the toilet have to get out of their room to use the toilet. And sometimes there's no air conditioner. So they learn that being here in America, they're blessed. They are really blessed because the things that they go through when they go abroad, they do study abroad, they appreciate, you know, what they have here. Like one of my students said, "Oh, God, do I appreciate my mom for paying those bills?" know? So it's a good program, in that it gives the students an exposure of a lifetime. Yeah.
Well, speaking of exposure, what's an upcoming event? I know that we have an event this month.
Yes, yes, yes. We have a speaker. Usually the LSM, to help the students, we have enhancement activities. And what we mean by enhancement activities is not just, study, study, study. We also provide activities that will assist the students in terms of mental break, and also give them more information on what they're doing. Sometimes we do have experts who come in and speak on different subjects, so that exposes students to expert researchers that enhance their academic well-being. So this month we have Dr. Garner Jackson. She is a professor at Valley State University, and she is going to be a speaker for this month. So every month we have a speaker that comes in, and the students get to listen, ask questions, and that also sometimes help our students in terms of research, because once the researcher talks about the research, then the students get interested, and then they want to know more, and it also expose them to certain fields that they are not even sure. I know we had somebody from math one time came, and a professor came and talked, had a speaker series in math. And he made it so easy that some students were just like, wow, I hated math all my life, was it this easy? But they get to learn. It creates an impact, and it also gets an exposure, keeps the students, it gives the students an exposure on what is out there, what different fields are out there, so they learn different things. Yes.
Okay, so Dr. Chanel, let's talk about the stereotype around STEM, that there's a certain look and it's not minorities. And so sometimes, just like the example you gave about the student in math, sometimes it can be intimidating to students to even hear the word STEM. So what are the requirements for being an LSMAMP?
The requirements for LSMAMP is that you have to be a minority student. And how do we describe minority students? There are a lot of different, how do we describe minority students? Now, the NSF describe minority students and, as Black, Hispanic, Native American, Pacific Islanders, and Native Americans, yeah, and also Alaskans. So, sometimes we look at undergraduate, you look at the diversity, but the definition that LSM have in terms of minority is different, and also, with diversity, it really helps the environment in terms of the workforce in STEM. Mm-hmm. You talk about, the STEM workforce and how the stereotypes, how it is their stereotype. Now, most people think that if you're in STEM, you're a geek, you have these big old glasses on and, all this stuff. But no, STEM, now women are getting in STEM. We're trying to stereotype how STEM looks like. Mm-hmm. Anybody can be in STEM. If you like what you do and you want to do it, you can do it. You could, if most people don't like math, but if that's what if that's your forte, then that's fine. But stereotyping, like in engineering, there's not that many women. So now we are trying to introduce women to STEM, so that stigma of it's a man's job is not there, because women can do things just as good as men can. So the stereotype of civil engineering, computer engineering, or that only certain people can do computer engineering or programming is not true. Everybody, once people are exposed to it, the thing is, exposure is very important.
Yes.
Once people are exposed to it, then it creates an environment that they get to like it, because even if you look at ourselves, what we like today is based on how we probably grew up and somebody exposed that to us. Mm-hmm. Now, if they expose it in a difficult form, then we think it's difficult. Mm-hmm. So if they expose it in a way where we think that, wow, this is easy, then your chances are you're likely, it's a mindset. It's a mindset that, this might be difficult, this is not, or whatever. But, stereotyping in terms of STEM is real. It's really real. But, that's what the LSM does, that, hey, we cannot be stereotyped on stuff that we are capable of doing. What other people, women can do it, men can do it, everybody can do it. Just expose them to it, and then let them do their best they can. That's about it. Yeah.
I can't wait for the students here at Coahoma to experience LSMAMP. The meeting that I was able to attend with some of the students from all over Mississippi, it was awesome. They had a motivational speaker. I felt motivated. after I
Yes,
left.
yes, we all felt motivated. That's at the Mississippi Academy of Sciences. Speaking of that, that's one of the exposure we have. LSM has a collaboration with the Mississippi Academy of Sciences, where usually they have their meeting yearly, and LSM participate and they have their own LSM have their own symposium and have these fabulous speakers, who come in and give them motivation, and they also can see how other people are presenting presentation skills. Students are presenting, they network with other professionals, and sometimes they find even summer internship there, or even jobs. For those who don't want to go further, they find jobs. So that's a system of networking where it creates an environment of friendliness and of can do. I can do it.
Yes.
you know so it's very nice. This is one of the, for me, I love the program. I think this is one of the program that Mr. Stokes, really, even though he's dead today, but his legacy still
Yes.
lives. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are talking with Dr. Martha Chanu, Jackson State University, about LSMAMP, and I am so excited that you have been able to join us today. What parting words do you have for us today?
Wow, this has been fun. I'm just, the only thing I can say is that if there's a student listening out there, don't let anything intimidate you in what you want to do, especially in STEM. Look at yourself and say, hey, I can do this. Don't get intimidated. And like I always say that, also look at your friends. Who are your friends around you? Because sometimes your friends influence what you do. They say, there's a saying that they say that if you think like an eagle, you can fly. Or if a chicken thinks like their eagle, they could fly. But an eagle who thinks like a chicken might not be able to fly. So look at your environment and see who are your friends and what are your influences. And then put your mindset and don't let nobody else tell you any different. If you think you can do it, you can do it. It's basically motivation from the inside out. So my word for today is motivation. Keep yourself motivated in what you want to do and get it done.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Chanu.
Thank you, Dr. Mahafi, for having me. I sure appreciate you having me today. Very, very important. Thank you so much.